All right.
Welcome to the episode 5 of the Caution Free podcast. I'm your host, Colton Sutley, along with my co-host, Tim Friedhaber. Um, Almost started off badly this episode because I almost forgot what the podcast was called for a second. But we haven't recorded in a couple weeks, or I guess, yeah, just a couple weeks, and gonna there's been quite a bit that's gone on since. Um, so we're gonna go over some results real quick from the Tulsa Shootout. Um, Stock non-wing, Frank Flood, he was a winner. And that was his fifth career. Gordon Driller, Braxton Flat won in the junior sprints. He was, from everything I've heard, he was pretty emotional. He like knows how much it means to get one of those Gordon Drillers, and I don't know, he's probably like 7, 8 years old, so it's pretty cool to see a kid understand the how big that moment is. Uh, Outlaw non-wing, Blake Hahn won. That's his ninth career. Golden Driller and restricted A class. Wyatt Miller, he won. His mom is Kelly Earnhardt Miller, and he's a nephew of Dale Jr. So that's pretty awesome to see. Um, if hopefully he maybe goes to the dirt racing world as he gets older, but we'll see how that he'll probably go NASCAR. And then in A class, Ashton Turgensen won. Last year he like at a Chili Bowl got thrown out of his like seatbelts came undone somehow and flew out the top of his midget when it wrecked, and luckily he didn't get like messed up too badly, and so it's pretty cool to see him come back and win a Golden Driller. And then in the Winged Outlaw, Emerson Axum, he won. That's his fourth Golden Driller, so it's pretty awesome to see him win, and I think he's not going to run much wingless anymore. He's running his family 410 this coming season, so it's good. Maybe it's going to shoot him off to a big successful year this year, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he'll come over to our area and race some too.
Maybe. Um, the fast schedule released their sprint schedule this year. They have 32 races. The local races to us are on March 16th at PPMS, May 4th at Mercer, June 12th at Sharon, July 28th at Tri-City, August 23rd at Mercer, and then August 31st at PPMS. It's an expanded schedule compared to years before. There's still three TBAs, and other dates still could be added. Um, yeah,
Yeah, Tri-City being on there, so that means there's at least 2 races going to happen at Tri-City this year. So, I
it's
mean,
unfortunate.
uh I don't know. I just hopefully somebody else buys it and hopefully somebody buys Knox as well. I think it's going up for auction, I think, in March or something. I think I remember seeing on their Facebook, um but yeah, there's a lot of um they're like going to like the Fast Series, they're going to like Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, PA. So it's cool to see them. They seem to be expanding with All Stars kind of disappearing for now.
Well, the
And
Fast Series is also running the PA Western Sprint Week, right?
no,
No?
they're doing the Ohio Speed Week.
Oh, okay.
Western PA Speed Week is still unsanctioned. I mean, it'd
Okay.
be I could see it maybe eventually being sanctioned by a series, but I don't know. It also could go the route like the PA Speed Week where it's run by the tracks and that
Yeah.
type of thing. But so a lot of it'll be good to see some like higher car counts in our area with the series coming and that. And I think they like almost increased their schedule by like double.
Hmm.
I think it seems like they typically ran like around like 15, 16 races, but I don't know if that was just what was scheduled or if what all they could get in with like ran outs and stuff. But
And
hopefully
Brandon Spitheller won last year, right?
yes, he was a champion this past year. And then Ricky Peterson Jr. was second. And he's run over this way he's from Ohio. He's ran over here quite a bit. He's got a couple I think he's got like a couple ones at like Tri-City and Mercer and like stuff like that. what not being fast series sanctioned events too. So,
Hmm.
and then the boss schedule, um, ran by the fast series. Well, they're both series ran by the same people. Um, 21 races. Uh, the only local race is at June 29th at PPMS. There's seven to be announced races on the schedule still, and then they said other dates could be added as well. Um, but I mean, like it's it'll be interesting to see what the TBAs are. I know Lernerville, I think, usually has like a one or two fast
Hmm.
races or boss races, so it'll be interesting to see if they add them to the schedule or not. But I mean, I like the pass series schedule. The boss schedule, I don't, some of the tracks I don't know too much. They go into Indiana a little bit and Ohio and I mean once in PA, but they're
Yeah.
very like all-star area type regional series.
Hmm. So then IRA sprints, they release their schedule, nothing local, 33 races, 6 states, 5 new tracks.
Yeah, I think the Maverick winged series that's in the Indiana series,
Hmm.
they're like co-sanctioning like a 5 day like mini speed week or whatever with the IRA series. They mainly run in like Wisconsin and I think they have a couple races in like Iowa and Michigan and stuff like that. They're mainly over that way, but um, I mean, maybe eventually they could expand and try to fill the little bit of the void the All-Stars left as well. They're like one of all the races are stream. Now they've been streaming all the races on Flow for a while now, so I mean, could see them step up and expand to bigger series, but um, and then BAPS, that's the track in Central PA. They released their 410 dates. I don't know if they have their full schedule out yet or not, but they have 9 410 dates. One of them's an outlaw show, and then the other 8 races will be streamed on Sprint Car Unlimited. They have like a deal with them. It's like pay-per-view style, not subscription based. So, you know, kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Go ahead. I don't know what the next two are, so you go ahead.
Okay, Logan Julian, he's supposed to race a Rookie of the Year, the IRA sprints. Um, Literally like right before I saw this on Twitter, I watched him race at a Tulsa Shootout, and he was doing pretty decent. So I think he's only like 16 or 8, like he's like a teenager still. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. And then Jake Blackhurst, he's committed to the IRA again. I think he's like a two-time champ with him. So, it makes sense for him to keep racing with him.
Yeah, so high limit, they've added, I mean, since we last talked, they've probably added 6 or 7 more. Um,
Yeah, so I think they were like about like 10 or 11 when we last talked. So,
yeah.
I mean,
So Connor Morrill is racing the full national tour for Mark Daly in the 28M, and then Cap Henry is racing the midweek series, and the Mark Daly owns 2MD. Isn't Cap Henry running the whole series though?
no.
I,
So he remember remember that number 4 Blake's Hard Cider sprint car?
hmm.
Well, that's Lane Racing. They parted ways with Cap at the end of 2022, like part way through, like it was like the last like month. There was like a month or two left in the season. They parted ways. Um, they went and got Chris Wyndham, and that was
Oh,
why their car was the NOS number 4. But now he's parted ways with them as well. So they don't have a driver yet. But Cap, he ran for I can't remember the team's name, but I think it's Jay Ward, the Ward number 33, I think. But he ran like Fremont and Attica locally in the AFCS series, and he actually, I think he was a champ of all three series,
okay.
like the track champ for both Attica and Fremont and the series. And then he did some of the midweek stuff for Mark Daly and the 2MD. Yeah, so I think the plan. It seems like the plans are going to be the same as last year for him. Just kind of run Fremont, Attica, maybe branch out a little bit, and then do the midweek stuff with the 2MD. But I could see him maybe doing like some other big races with the 2MD possibly, like maybe like Knoxville
Hmm.
Nationals, and maybe coming over for like the Commonwealth Clash and the Silver Cup and that car and that.
Who is the like 16 or 17-year-old that's running full high limit? They didn't want to homeschool him.
Corey Day. He's seven. I
That's who
think
I
he's
was thinking of.
17. Yeah, but I think he graduates. Actually, I think he's a senior this year. I originally thought he was a junior, but he's a senior. And with how the high limit schedule works out, there he'll be able to still be a kid and graduate high school and this spring and stuff. So, I mean, I think they take like a month off uh after like Florida and Georgia. So that probably was a big reason why he was able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Tyler Courtney, otherwise known as Sunshine, he announced that he's going high limit. Uh Clausen Marshall is also racing high limit, and I don't think we confirmed it, but uh Brent Marks is now also confirmed as a
Yeah, I don't
full
think
high
we
limit.
Yeah, I don't think I think that we haven't talked about that yet, I don't think. But
Hmm.
yeah, so Tyler Courtney and Clausen Marshall, the 7BC team, they they took for like Brad Sweet at PRI uh name dropped him in an interview, and then it's like a month later they finally announce it. And I mean, everybody kind of knew it was probably going to happen, but then there were like I saw like rumors where they might not because there was like I don't know if like there was something like with the contract it didn't they wanted more or something. I'm not sure, but he'll be a serious contender. Like he'll probably be one of the five to get a charter this season, I imagine. Or
Hmm.
he'll be right up there and that. But I mean, I think so as the season gets closer, um here's in a couple weeks we'll probably do like a preview show of the high limit season and probably like and award of outlaws season and kind of like compare and make some predictions and stuff. Probably do it like the week before the um season opener for the outlaws. But I also saw the USAC, they've changed their format for their national sprint cars and national midgets. Um I didn't realize they must not have had 24 starters for races, but now they may not, where they will have 24 starters for each feature. They also changed how like how the number of cars entered affects the number of heat races. So like if there's a certain amount of cars, they run a certain amount of heat races, and it's pretty much like they want to get about like eight to like anywhere from 7 to 10
Hmm.
cars in each heat race. So it just depends on like the numbers and stuff. And then they changed how the B mains and other like mains like the C and D will be lined up. I think that the B mains will be the two fastest non-transfers will start up front, and then the rest will be by heat race finishes. So it'll put more importance on how well you do in a heat race.
Yeah. So then the Wild West Shootout, it actually starts tonight. It's at Vado Speedway Park in New Mexico. 6 races over 9 nights. Super late model race January 6th and 7th, 10th, 12th and 13th, each for 11,000 to win, and 20,000, 26,000 to win on January 14th. And then there's a $300,000 bonus to any driver who wins all 6 races, 100K to any driver who wins 5 races, and then 25K to any driver who wins 4 races. Um, and then the other classes that are racing are the modifieds and the X mods. What is an X mod?
You're asking the wrong person. And I think the
Okay.
modifieds, I think are like the UMP modifieds, like the E mods. I think those
Yeah.
are what because I got this from like Flow Racing. They're like an article they did, and So like the modifieds, they just said modifieds. I'm guessing that's what they are because
Hmm.
I don't think I think like big blocks and small block modifieds, like they're only really big around like in the Northeast. Like
Hmm.
they're like trying to expand and stuff, but so I imagine that's what they are. And the next mod, I don't know. There's the alphabet mods. I don't know too much about them,
Yeah.
and there's just a little different and here and there and stuff. But got to make sure people like get classes where people can afford to actually race. So that's why there's 26 different types of modifieds.
Yeah. And then so Flow Racing, I guess they released their top 10 drivers to watch out for, and those would be Bobby Pierce, Brandon Shepherd, Cade Dillard, Drake Troutman, Garrett Alberson, Kyle Larson, Mike Marlar, Ricky Weiss, Shannon Babb, and Tyler Erb. I did not know Kyle Larson was racing in this.
Yeah, he did. He raced in it last year and stuff, and I think he won like two times or three, two or three. Or wait, no, actually, I don't think he actually won because I think I saw about somebody saying about seeing if he could break through this week. But yeah, it's like a pretty loaded field. A lot of guys go out there to like get the stuff, like make sure everything's good and smooth before they go to Florida for like the when the speed weeks and the Lucas Oil and Outlaw season starts. Um,
Hmm.
Drake Troutman, he won the Steel City Stampede at Lernerville this year, and he did well at the Dome and the UMP modified as well. He's a PA guy, so it's pretty cool. I think he's like maybe like 18, 19, he's like 20 years old maybe at most and that. But yeah, it's cool to see Kyle Larson gonna be there and missing the Chili Bowl once again. But I mean, he wants to expand people like the have people watch different types of motorsports, so it makes sense for him to branch out sometimes. And I did see that next year he tweeted about how he needs to go to Australia maybe next year. So I mean
Yeah,
that maybe
Rico's
next
miss Rico and Brad are in Australia right now,
yeah,
and isn't
Carson Macedo.
Haudenschild?
Yeah, Sheldon's there, Carson Macedo, Chase Randall, Brock Searfrost, Aaron Reitzel, Caleb Henry. I think there's like one or two more maybe. And James
Yeah.
McFadden, he's down there. He's from Australia originally,
Hmm.
but he went back home and is racing down there. And then their big race, I think they're like the one of their biggest races is coming up. I think it's like the 17th of January. But
Yeah. You
yeah,
can watch it if you want to wake up at 4 a.m.
yeah, on Clay per View.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watch the highlights on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's been some really good racing down there, especially at Motorplex. But I mean, like Sprint Car Hub on YouTube, they have a lot of good videos of there because that's the that guy's from Australia, so he covers the Australia sprint car racing scene, and he did a video recently breaking down the stuff, like how it works, and saying like Australia is almost as big as the US and like all that stuff. And it's interesting. And maybe next week, I forgot to put in some results for there, but maybe next week we'll talk about some of the results that have been happening during their summer. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of Australian guys I would love to see come over here and see how well they do. If I win the lottery, maybe I'll have one or two of them come over and drive a sprint car for me.
Yeah. Keep talking about the lottery. I don't think
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
Hey, my birthday's on a Wednesday this year. It's gonna maybe a birthday present this year. We'll see.
Maybe.
It'd be pretty
Maybe.
nice. But now we're gonna talk about a chili bowl. We're gonna pre I like got about 10 guys highlighted for each night, whether it's how well they do in a midget, or if they're just a big name and not like a NASCAR driver or whatever. And like after each night, after we say the drivers and stuff, me and Tim are going to make our picks for each night. And then at the end, we'll make a pick for the overall champion of the Chili Bowl. So, um, I'll s- well, I would say about Monday night, Nick Hoffman, outlaw driver, late model driver, he'll be there. Chase Briscoe, he's a NASCAR guy. Noah Gass, outlaw sprint car guy. Joe B. Miller, really, he drives micros and everything. He's good. Cannon McIntosh, I think he finished like third last year in the Chili
Hmm.
Bowl. Michael Pickens, he's a guy from New Zealand, real good midget guy. Jerry Coons Jr. And you got Chris Windom, who's going to race high limit this year. Tanner Carrick, he got robbed of a outlaw win out in California a few years back. And then Mario Klauser. Um, Tim, you can make your pick first. Um, I know you don't
I'm
know too
going.
many.
I'm going with Cannon McIntosh.
That is a smart pick. I remember, I guess you should have known a couple names because, especially his, because when we did our pick'em challenge this summer, you
Hmm.
picked him. Well, we both picked him a lot. And that,
He's
so
good.
yeah,
I think Nick Hoffman could win too, though.
yeah.
Maybe.
I'm gonna go with Chris Windom as my pick. Uh, well, I don't know if he's won. I don't think he's won a Chili Bowl before, but he's been a midget champion, USAC midget champion before, so I think it's just a good pick to make. Um, and then Tuesday night we have Cap Henry, Thomas Mesereau, Chase McDermott, Parker Price Miller, Hank Davis, who won his prelim last year. He's a local Tulsa guy. Zach Dahm, real good midget guy. Kevin Thomas Jr. He's He is really good. I think he kind of slowed his career down a little bit when he went to try to do 410 wing racing. David Gravel, Buddy Koford. So like you don't know, you don't need to say anything else about those guys. Tanner Holmes, I mean, Tim loves him. So Tim knows about him, and if you don't know about him, you live under a rock. Robbie Price, he ran the Jason Sides car lot the past couple years as an outlaw. Um, I guess I'll go first for this time around. Um, I'll go with Buddy Koford.
That's who I would have picked.
Yeah, I almost went with Hank Davis, but I'm like, I don't know if he can pull off the 2 years in a row pulling off a great upset. Well, maybe not an upset this year, but I don't know if he could pull it off again.
I gotta go with Tanner Holmes. I don't think he'll win, but gotta at least give him hope.
Yeah. Um, I think I that's not a bad pick. I
He's not
mean,
he's
I
not
don't.
terrible.
He's good with the what the QRC carts or whatever,
Hmm.
but I don't know if I don't know how well he's ever done. He's in a good. I think he's driving for Chad Boat. And Chad Boat usually has pretty good midgets, and Wyatt Miller and that Braxton Flat that won the
Hmm.
Golden Drillers. They were driving Chad Boat prepared cars, but and then on Wednesday night we have the GOAT of the Chili Bowl, Sammy Swindell, Briggs Danner. He's a good Eastern PA, New Jersey, like wingless driver. Kyle Cummins, Steve Buckwalter. Steve Buckwalter's done well at the Chili Bowl in the past. Alex Bright, another Central Eastern PA type guy. Corey Day, we were talking about him earlier, a stud. Blake Hahn, talked about him earlier with the golden, how many golden drillers he has in the Tulsa Shootout. And I mean, this event was created and is put on by his grandfather. So, I mean, he always does pretty well. And then you got Sunshine, Tyler Courtney, Jade Abedizian. She just became the first female to win a national midget series when she won the Extreme series.
Chris
And
is
then Jason
what the
Persley.
Jade Race is the Yahoo car, right?
No, that's Taylor Reimer.
Oh, okay.
Jay drives. I think it was like Mobile One this past year. It was like number
Oh,
71 or
okay.
something. But you can go ahead and pick first this time around.
I think I think Sammy's washed. I don't think he's got any more. He also races like a douchebag. So I'm not gonna pick him. I'm gonna go with Corey Day.
I thought you were gonna pick him because you were like Sammy, and you're like, I was not expecting that. I don't think he's washed. Dude, I think he's just racing for fun now, and he's at that point in his life, just kind of for fun, but he wants to win still. Um, he could still surprise you, I think. But yeah, my pick, dang, I'm gonna go with Blake Hahn. I just That's just who I feel like. I almost went with Sunshine. I probably should have went with Jade, maybe, but I don't know, Blake Hahn, I just feel like that's gonna work out for me as a pick, but we'll see. And then Thursday night, the some of the hot headliners are Spencer Baston, Carter Sarf, Gavin Bichelle, JJ Yaley, NASCAR former NASCAR driver, really good open wheel guy. Ricky Thornton Jr., best super late model driver in the country right now. Brady Bacon, the Macho Man, and then Tim Buckwalter. Um, had a couple good runs at the Chili Bowl the past couple years. Him and Steve both are from PA. I did not
Hmm.
mention that about Steve earlier. CJ Leary, he's in the Alex Bowman racing car. Emerson Axum, we just said about how he's having a great young start of his career at in this building with the Tulsa Shootout. Jesse Love going to be racing Xfinity Series next season, and then Tanner Thorson, um, you know, 2021 Chili Bowl champion and a high limit racer this
Who's
coming
running
season.
for Swindell?
Uh, Logan Seavey.
Oh,
He's
okay.
Friday night. Um,
Gotcha.
so it's my turn to pick first, and dang, this is a really good night. I'm gonna go with Tanner Thorson though. He won it. He's won prelim nights before, I believe, and he won the actual whole damn thing. So, I he's a hell of a wheelman, and it's his own midget team, and he builds his own cars and stuff. And I think he's gonna do. He finished second last year, and he could have won it. He could have bumped and run Logan Seavey last year, but he's friends with Logan some, and he already won one. So he hadn't won one before, he would have wrecked him, I think, is what he said. So, but Tim,
I'm
who's your pick?
going Ricky Thornton Jr.
That's a good pick. He's I want to see him in a sprint car, a 410. Will we ever see it? I don't know.
Probably not.
That man's ran over 100 races this past year, and micros, super late models, UMP modifieds, midgets, and that. So he's a wheel man. I think actually at the Tulsa Shootout, he had a little bit of alphabet soup and went from like the E or F main to like the B main. I don't think he made the A main in that class that he was making the alphabet soup run, but there was sometimes he'd be starting in the back of like a lot of those and drive up front to transfer. Um, so Friday night, the headliners are Justin Grant, phenomenal open wheel guy. Hunter Schoenberg, he's done very well in the open wheel stuff. Santino Ferrucci, he's an IndyCar driver. He was running pretty decent on the Indy 500 this past year for the Mario. Or actually, is it? No, I think it was AJ Foyt Racing was who he drives for. But and then you got Tim McCready. He's won the Chili Bowl before. great super late model driver, probably a Hall of Famer someday. Darren Pittman, I mean, enough said about him. Jason McDougal, he's a phenomenal open wheel guy. Hasn't He's basically just runs the shootout and the Chili Bowl now, and he does very well. Logan Seavey with the Swindell Speed Lab team once again. Logan Seavey's a hell of a driver, and Swindell's they Kevin Swindell is
One,
the Tulsa King.
didn't they win last year?
Yes, and Gavin Bichelle won him a Golden Driller at last year as well at the Tulsa Shootout, and Kevin's won like four Chili
Hmm.
Bulls as a driver, and he won a Tulsa Shootout Driller as a driver as well before. So he's like 7 wins in that building as an owner and driver. So I mean, he knows that place like the back of his hand. Um, Ryan Timms is also racing that night. Bryant Wiedemann, Josh Bilecki, he runs like Cup Series and Xfinity. Um, Mark Daly, this one's just interesting to me. Mark Daly, the owner of the Conor Morrell and Cap Henry's High Limit rides, he's racing in Chili Bowl, which is pretty interesting. I did not know he also drove some, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. But you can pick first this time around, Tim.
Logan CV all the way.
I figured you were gonna do that. Like I knew ahead of time that that's who you'd pick. Um, I'm gonna go with Justin Grant. He's won prelim nights before. Um, so I'm gonna go with him on that
You know
one.
what? I don't think we should count Darren Pittman out though.
Oh no, I don't think you can count anybody out on like any of like the guys, even the guys we didn't mention. I don't Dude, that place is nuts. Like
Yeah.
you don't know how it's gonna go, but they're all very good, talented racers that are showing up. Um, so I mean, you can pick first for, I'll pick first for this because we've been taking turns, but like I already know who I was gonna pick, and I already know who you're gonna pick. I'm going to go with Tanner Thorson to win it all. He's had two really good runs. He won it 2 years ago, and then last year he had a really good run, finishing second. So I see him continue. It's usually guys that do really well continue to do really well. So I think with 2 years of being really doing really well, I think he's going to continue it.
Yeah. I realistically I think Logan CV will do better than Cannon McIntosh, but I would not count Cannon McIntosh out of it.
So who's your
Uh,
pick?
I'll go Logan CV.
I knew you would pick him. But yeah, I wouldn't count Cannon out as well. I mean, I think like finished third last year. I think he won a prelim night as well. So I think I I think it's gonna be a great week of racing. I won't stay up and watch every night of it like the whole way through, but I'll watch some of it on Flow, and then Saturday I'll watch it some and probably fall asleep and then wake up and watch a feature. And that's what I did last year. It was like 11 or like something. I fell asleep. I woke up. The Jags just beat the Chargers in the playoffs, like a crazy comeback. And now like, oh, the Chili Boy main's still going on. I go upstairs and I watch it on my phone, the ending of it at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And they drag that thing out way too much. But and then the thing that we can talk about, or I like thought of like this morning, was racing New Year resolutions. Um, like I mean, just come up with like one or two things that, like however many things you have resolution for yourself with racing this coming year.
Yeah, I I want to get to more new tracks for one. That's a big one. I want to go to
Yeah.
more races in general. I refuse to go to Tri-City though. So I will not support their business. That owner sucks, and I will not put money into that track until it's sold to a different owner. Um, yeah, I just want to go to more tracks, make more content on it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, mine's the same. I want to go to more new tracks. I went to two this past year in Port Royal and Hummingbird. Um, I want to go to a lot more races this year as well. Will I actually do that? I don't know, but that's the dream. Wanna I'll probably go to Tri-City maybe for Western PA Speed Week because that'll probably be the best time they like the best car counts they have for 410s, and they'll probably only have like 15. Um, Maybe the Fast Series race as well, possibly. I don't know, but I mean it's 5 minutes from my house. So
It's
it's
true.
and I don't know, we'll see. But I'll probably try to go to Lernerville for the season opener. I have the past few years, so maybe try to do that. And I've
Steel
been
City
to
Stampede. Got to go
yeah,
to that again.
yeah. And then maybe go to PPMS for the Potluck 75 or the Pot of Gold, not Potluck. Pot of Gold 75 in March, maybe if I want to freeze. Not I've never been to that track, but another goal is to go to like some more 410 races at different tracks and maybe go to some tracks that I've been to but haven't been to in a long time, like Mercer, maybe go up to like State Line and Erie's, watch some super late models up there. That, but we'll see how things go. But that's pretty
I
much.
I
Oh,
drove past Erie's the other day, and I was very surprised of how in the middle of nowhere the track is.
yeah. I don't. It's been years since I've been up there, so I don't even remember like the drive up there, like how you like like what you go, like what it's like right by or anything. But like, I remember like how like the grandstands and stuff is. But
Yeah,
And I guarantee it's not the most out in the middle of nowhere track. Hummingbird is literally in the middle of nowhere. Like I went with Jayla and my aunt Tam, and uh, dude, we were going like back roads, and I'm like, how the hell do like haulers get
haulers.
through here? And I mean, they don't have like big tours going there or anything. They had like ULMS and the Rush Sprints, but like, I'm like, man, like I don't know how to like. It's like out in the middle of nowhere.
Even some of those rush guys drive huge haulers.
Yeah, well, some of the super late model guys too, like the
Yeah,
ULMS, like I think I don't know if Drake Troutman drove. No, he didn't drive in that series, but I think he was at in that race though. So he definitely has a big hauler and that. So I don't know, but yeah. So I'm looking at the local tracks, their schedules dropping and stuff. I'm like, man, there's a lot of races and stuff. So it would be good to be a fan this coming year.
weather's got to stay nice though.
Yeah. Hopefully it rain. If it rains, have it. Well, we need rain some, so it'll be rain in the during the week and sunny on the weekends, hopefully. Not even just for
Hopefully.
racing, just for people to go out and have a good time on the weekends, so their jobs don't depress them too much. But I think that's about it for this week, unless you got anything else you want to say.
No,
All right.
I got
Don't
nothing.
for All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, rate 5 stars, all that jazz. We're on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram. That's pretty much all we're on. Follow us on Twitter. I read tweet a lot of racing news a lot, so um that way you can see any updates that are going on out there in the racing world. I retweet non-dirt racing as well, so if you like NASCAR and crap like that. But that's it for this week. So see you guys later.